The Education Illusion, Rethinking College, Success, and the Future. For decades, society has sold one dominant idea: go to college, get a degree, secure your future. But today, that formula is being questioned more than ever before. Across the United States, from Harvard University to Stanford University, from Wharton School to prestigious institutions around the world, thousands of students graduate every year armed with degrees, case studies, and theoretical frameworks. Yet many of them leave without practical experience, and worse, they leave with debt. The $100,000 decision at age 18. Imagine being 17 years old. You've never paid rent. You've never run a business. You've barely filed a tax return. And suddenly, you're asked to sign documents committing yourself to $100,000, sometimes even $200,000, in student loans. No real financial literacy, no deep understanding of long-term consequences, just hope. Students are told, don't worry, it will pay off. But life no longer works that way. The assumption used to be simple: graduate, get a good job, repay debt, build wealth. Today, that pipeline is cracked. The myth of the elite degree. Graduating from a prestigious university may signal intelligence, discipline, or opportunity, but it does not guarantee greatness. History has proven this. Consider Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Larry Ellison. None of them completed college. Yet if you had the opportunity to hire any of them in their early years, you would have done so without hesitation. Their success did not come from degrees. It came from vision, execution, relentless experimentation. The degree was not the differentiator. What is education really? If we strip it down, education is essentially the downloading of data and algorithms into the human brain. But here's the problem. Conventional education often becomes mechanical. A professor stands at the front of a lecture hall. He delivers the same lecture he has delivered for 20 years. The students take notes. The exam tests memorization. Learning becomes repetition. Curiosity fades. Many students quietly wonder, why am I here? True innovators don't wait to be told what to do next. They figure out what to do next. Yet traditional systems reward obedience more than initiative. College, exploration, or extended high school. One of the most beautiful aspects of college is flexibility. You can explore new ideas, start coding, build side projects, collaborate, experiment. But many institutions unintentionally reduce that flexibility by turning college into high school with more binge drinking. Grades become the obsession. Straight A's become the trophy. But here's a radical thought. A university's purpose should not be to create perfect transcripts. It should be to create a foundation for failure. Failure is where learning happens. If someone graduates with flawless grades but never tested real-world risk, never launched something uncertain, never struggled publicly, what have they truly learned? The business classroom paradox. If everything needed to succeed in business were truly contained inside a textbook, then every student who passed business class would become successful. But that's not reality. If reading a business book was enough, professors would not be teaching. They would be building billion-dollar companies themselves. The truth is harsher. Entrepreneurship cannot be fully taught. It must be lived. Boardrooms filled with suited graduates do not intimidate someone who has lived through real negotiations, real failures, real risks. There is a difference between reading about life and living it. Self-education versus expensive branding. Many assume that paying $35,000 per year guarantees superior education. But is it really about knowledge, or is it about branding? Consider the experience of investors like Warren Buffett, who attended both the University of Nebraska and the Wharton School. He has often emphasized that much of investing wisdom is self-taught. The fundamentals are not secrets locked inside elite lecture halls. Accounting, finance, economics. These can be learned at countless institutions, often at a fraction of the cost. The real driver of success? Self-discipline, curiosity, independent thinking. An expensive name does not automatically produce expensive results. Education as insurance parents often see college not merely as education, but as insurance. An insurance policy against poverty, an insurance policy against failure, an insurance policy against falling through the cracks. And like all insurance markets, the price keeps rising. Tuition increases year after year. Student debt in the United States now exceeds $1 trillion. But if college is insurance, we must ask, why is the premium increasing so dramatically? And what exactly is being insured? Exclusivity and value. Elite universities derive much of their perceived value from exclusivity. If an institution suddenly doubled or tripled enrollment, what would happen? Prestige would decline. Value in many ways comes from scarcity. This raises uncomfortable questions. Are universities primarily educational institutions or prestige clubs? Some critics compare elite universities to exclusive nightclubs. Access itself becomes the product, the education bubble. There is growing concern that higher education resembles a bubble. When debt rises faster than returns, sustainability becomes questionable. $1 trillion in student loans represent not just financial obligations, but expectations. Expectations that degrees will guarantee income. Expectations that the system will deliver what it promised, but markets eventually correct misalignments. The big question is not if change will come, but how. The end of one size fits all. Not everyone should become an entrepreneur. Not everyone should attend college. There is no single universal path. The future is likely to be diverse, flexible, and heterogeneous. Some will build companies, some will master trades, some will enter academia, some will create art, some will work remotely from anywhere in the world. Rigid tracking, elite college or nothing, no longer reflects reality. Reforming the mindset. Perhaps the deeper issue lies not in institutions but in mindset. From childhood, students are taught, don't make mistakes, avoid failure, follow instructions. Punishment replaces reflection. But mistakes are the birthplace of growth. Instead of asking, why did you fail? We should ask, what did you learn? Punishment discourages experimentation. Reflection encourages evolution. If someone repeatedly encounters the same negative outcome, the lesson is not shame, it is adjustment. Education should teach adaptation, not fear. Memory versus understanding. Many people struggle in traditional systems not because they lack intelligence, but because they process information differently. Some excel at rote memorization, others thrive in contextual storytelling. Traditional schooling often rewards short-term memory over deep understanding. Yet real-world success demands pattern recognition, emotional intelligence, negotiation skills, resilience, and creativity. Qualities rarely measured by standardized exams. Corruption of incentives. When massive sums of money flow into a system, incentives distort. Administrative costs grow, buildings expand, marketing intensifies. Meanwhile, students carry increasing debt burdens. If education becomes primarily about sustaining institutional structures, rather than empowering learners, something fundamental has shifted. Historical parallel. 500 years ago, institutions once claimed exclusive authority over salvation. Reformers challenged the idea that spiritual security required intermediaries. Similarly, today some argue that economic salvation requires a diploma, but perhaps success, like spiritual growth, ultimately requires personal responsibility. You must work out your own path. You must develop your own skills. You must take ownership of your trajectory. That truth is empowering, but uncomfortable. Living experience versus academic theory. When you walk into a room full of graduates in suits, armed with degrees and vocabulary, you may feel intimidated. But lived experience carries weight. Integrity carries weight. Honesty carries weight. Confidence built from real challenges is stronger than confidence built from exam scores. Many who lacked early opportunity might have become the next Oprah Winfrey or the next Bill Gates had circumstances aligned differently. Talent is universal. Opportunity is not. The future of learning. The future may not belong to one centralized educational model. Instead, we may see apprenticeships, online certifications, startup fellowships, independent research paths, hybrid learning communities. Knowledge is no longer scarce. Access is global. The question is not whether information exists, but how individuals use it. Final reflection. Save yourself. The most uncomfortable truth is this: no institution can guarantee your future, no degree can replace personal discipline, no brand name can substitute for courage. Education can open doors, but you must walk through them. Success is not handed out with diplomas. It is built through exploration, failure, flexibility, and persistence. And perhaps the greatest lesson of all is this: you must take responsibility for your own salvation, your career, your knowledge, your growth. The system may guide you, but it cannot carry you.